You talked about Aaron Kraft's impact, 7 steals. Just pretty tough on the defensive end.
I don't know if that was, the reason the game was like it was. I mean, the kid's a good player. I think that's fairly obvious. They got a lot of good players. And I thought today we didn't come with the energy level that was necessary to play the #1 ranked team. Defensively. Offensively, we were a little bit sideways at times, I thought. But I thought defensively, their effort at the start of the game was what it needed to be for them. And they got us off to a slow start. I think when you go on the road and you're playing a team of this caliber, you need to get off to a good start offensively. You need some buckets. You need to settle down. You need to get some type of flow, whether we're running motion or set. We need a little bit of a flow. We never had a flow. Every basket we got in the first half was a struggle. And, we hung in. There was a couple opportunities we had, I think, to keep it. Obviously we wanted to keep it under 15. We had a chance with the last possession to get it to 15. But, when you look at their shooting percentages in the first half, 54-46. It's hard to win against a team like this, and obviously it's not the only time they've done that. They've got really good shooters and they've got a great low post game, but we've got to play better defense than we played tonight against this team.
How much did Dallas Lauderdale's start early on impact what you guys wanted to do?
Well, it wasn't anything in particular that he did other than catch and dunk. It was our rotations were slow. We didn't keep the dribbler in front of us, so the rotations enabled him to be open, and that's how he hurts you. He hurts you with block shots. He hurts you with his physical presence and rebounding, and then he hurts you when he hangs around the basket and catches and dunks. Well, it wasn't like they were going to him. I think they ran one play for him. They run their plays for everybody else, but he scores as a byproduct of so much other offensive talent, and then the fact that we were having trouble guarding those guys.
Fran, was there 23 turnovers, I think, this season high. How many of those did you credit to the defense? It seemed like after a while, you guys were trying to make plays they couldn't make.
You know what, Rick? I think you're right. What we did was we started playing a little quicker than we're capable of against a team like this. We came down, quick shot the ball a few times, and drove into packs of people early. Sometimes we would call a play set and go, even if it wasn't there. Sometimes you're playing a team like this and you think something's going to be there, you call the play, it's not there, you got to move it on. We would kind of put our head down and go anyway, and they're just too good to have those kinds of mistakes. Because the other thing that they do is they convert your turnovers into baskets. And that's something that we've really been working on, is if we have an empty possession, whether it be a missed shot or a turnover, then let's limit how much they score as a result of those empty possessions from our end. And this team does it as well as anybody.
Fran, was it mostly foul trouble with Melson, or did they do anything differently this time to try to limit his effectiveness compared to the last
I think they got into him. I mean, they got into him with good players, and kind of got him off to a slow start, and then foul trouble. Then, I limited his minutes. And to his credit, I think he played a lot better in the second half. He was more like himself, more aggressive. I thought when he hit that jump shot on the baseline early, that was maybe going to get him going. But he didn't have a lot of space. And they've got some size and some athleticism that does make it hard.
With Jared, is it a lack of confidence right now, or is it just maybe feeling pressure after he gets that first foul to maybe do more than he's capable of? I guess, how would you?
I don't think you could read more into Jared's game than foul trouble. He never really got into flow. He got in too early. I'm thinking maybe we should put him back in, or Brommer fortunately played really well for us, so I didn't really have to go back to him too much. And then he got a foul. He goes third right away. I let him stay for a minute, and then I just went back to Brommer because he was playing better.
Just how?
Fran, this is the first time I was started 0-6 in the Big Ten season, but how much of that, 5 of those teams have been rated, does that at all cushion what you're trying to do here?
I think everybody understands who we're playing against. We played 6 really good teams, but at the same time, the reality is we're still 0-6. Nobody's happy about it. had some chances to win some of those games. And I feel like at times we made strides to getting to where we can win some of those games. Obviously, we played much better against these guys the last time. Tonight, we made a little run, but not enough.
Brahmer has had kind of an up and down career, but this seems to really, he seems to be playing with more confidence. He also seems to be just more active and doing a smarter job.
You know what, Scott, I'm happy for him because he didn't play well on Sunday. You know, he goes back home, he doesn't play well. I don't play him a lot because when I put him in, he struggled. And I wanted to put him back in. It was a tight game, and I thought that the other guys were playing better, Basabi in particular. You know, so there's a couple ways you can go. And for him, you know, he had 2 just tremendous days of practice. Just recommitted himself, and then against, you know, the guy's the first pick in the draft. I mean, he did pretty well. You know, and so that gives me confidence to know that I can go to him and have a guy that can score and affect the game with a block shot or a traffic rebound. He's a good passing big man. He's got good assist turnover numbers. So it gives you a guy that you can utilize in different ways. And hopefully for him, it's the kind of game that will really, you know, impact his confidence level to know that he can play. If he can play that way against Sullinger, he can play that way against anybody.
He always seems to get into foul trouble. Is there anything you're telling him to try to do differently to get out of those situations?
Well, what he does is he uses his body, which is good because he's got a big frame, but sometimes he puts his hands on the guy, and that's automatic. You know, it doesn't seem like much, but once you do this, it's a foul. So just try to get his hands up and use his body, and he's staying out of foul trouble.
Fran, how difficult is it right now? You talk about Brahmer, didn't play well, and then he plays well. Eric May plays well Sunday, and there's no factors tonight. How are you trying to get?
You know, it's tough to manage. It's tough to manage, but we've got good kids that are, you know, if somebody's in a funk, they're trying to work their way out of it. We're getting extra shots up. We're showing film. We're trying to help them get better to see things maybe they're not seeing. But you know, you're right. I mean, Sunday, for example, we don't get much out of Brahmer, and then we get some. You know, Eric May was fabulous. You know, Archie was pretty good tonight. He wasn't on Sunday. Ball was great tonight. Not so great. And you know, and I think the guy we have to get going though is Marble. You know, he's a better player than he is playing. And I think for him, playing him at the point all those minutes has hampered his development as a shooting guard. And I've tried to get him some minutes tonight at the 2, and a little bit better, but I think he's got more in there.
Coach, were you sizing up Sullinger as a top pick? Is that what you're referencing?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I take him first. I'm not a GM, but I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know who you'd take ahead of him. I can't think of anybody.
Okay.